All right, it says I'm live, so I'm gonna go over to the stream and make sure that I can mute myself real quick. But hello, everyone. All right, I think I'm muted and I can see myself. All right. Oh, hi, Christina. It's your first live video. Yay! So glad you could make it. Hello, Angry Watermelon. That's such a great username. Let's see. Hi, Davies. Just started by nearly throwing my laptop on the floor. That is not what we want. No. Let's see. Yes. Hello, Amanda. Hey, Zerk. Hello, everybody. Well, first off, I know we kind of covered this last time, but I'm seeing some new usernames. So let me know where you guys are right now. Let me know what time of day it is for you. It is 9 a.m. for me, Central Standard Time, but I had to get up at like 5:55. I set an alarm so that I could check in for a flight. So I'm moving a little bit slower than usual. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Hi, Inu Cogcake. Is that from Inuyasha? That's all I'm thinking. It's gotta be, right? Like Inuyasha, Kagome, Kikyo. Please confirm that. I'm not just like forcing an old fandom on your username. Christina's in Denmark where it's 4 p.m. Davies, England, 3 p.m. Okay, I thought I remembered that. Amanda says 4 p.m. here, 3 p.m. in England. Inucog, 10 a.m. Okay, 9 a.m. Angry Watermelon. All right, so we got people from all over. That's awesome. And then also, y'all, let me know what project you're working on. And let me know, one, if you're participating in Camp NaNoWriMo, but then also, like, if you're already starting to prep. Because I'm not done with Project Purple revisions yet. They're just taking so long. But I'm hoping to be done very soon because I am on the third and final act. And I only need to include like 2 more scenes into that act along with the revision. So like, I keep hoping it won't take that much longer, but I'm not letting myself think about any Camp NaNoWriMo stuff until that is done. No other projects. At this point, I've like put myself on hiatus for all of my other projects because otherwise this just isn't gonna happen. So okay, Inuyasha says yes, it's from Inuyasha. Okay, good. I was like, it had to be. There were too many clues. Just making sure. Davies says, writing, editing some flash fiction. That's exciting news on Project Purple. Yes, I'm very excited. I'm hoping so soon. So soon it'll be done. What kind of flash fiction are you working on? I'm curious. And what is the actual definition of flash fiction? Like, is that like a single scene sort of thing? Because I know you can submit flash fiction to contests more easily, but okay, flash fiction type characterized by being very short, typically consisting of only a few hundred words. Okay. That's nice though. I like that. I feel like that would be a fun challenge. I don't think I do that sometimes, I guess, for like when Brooke and I do our writing and drinking vlogs, occasionally I try and get the stories to like all be one little story, but usually it's like, oh, I just cut it off here. Zerk says, I'm prepping. Okay, just set up my account and wrote a rough synopsis. Yay! And I also outlined my first act. That is so exciting. What is your camp project? Like, what sort of story are you working on if you don't want to share what the actual story is? But that's so fun. Yay for signing up and creating an account. I have not yet put a synopsis in the camp website because I'm not letting myself think about that yet, but it's going to come up soon. I'm very excited. Angry Watermelon, I'm in the last stretch of a draft and might even finish today. Hooray. For camp, I'm participating, but no solid plans yet. Okay, I feel you. That makes sense. I remember I've gotten to like the couple days before camp and still not known which project I was going to work on. And like, I've totally done the coin flip toss just to see, like, help me decide, universe. So, but it's still fun to participate. Let's see, Christina, editing my zero draft. Oh, YA fantasy. No Camp Nano because of summer holiday for the kids. Oh, that's fair. I've said this in comments before, but I'm constantly amazed by parents that are able to write simultaneously with like raising, especially like young children, but honestly, any children. Like I'm trying to take care of me and I find that to be a struggle sometimes. So, oh man. Davies, I think it's about 200 to 1,000 words. Okay, that's for flash fiction. Gotcha. Colleen says, editing either the first book in my series or drafting the third. Colleen, can you give me some advice? This is thinking ahead to camp, but like how? So I'm working on the Meridian maps for camp, and I've never done a sequel before. How do you multitask editing one of the books while also drafting other of the books in the series? Do you find it difficult? I got questions. If any of y'all have worked on sequels before, I want any and all advice. Hi, Adam. You're not late. You're fine. We're just chilling. We haven't even done a word sprint yet, but we will soon, I promise. Let's see. Davies, 100 words is a drabble and 50 is a drabble. I like it. Amanda says, I'm working on my project Royalty. It's a fantasy story. I'm going to keep writing it during Nano. Oh my gosh. Royalty. That's so clever. I dig it. That's so fun. As bad as I am about naming things, I'm such a sucker for a good name, a good working title, a good anything. I'm like, ooh, I got you. I feel like I know what the story's about and I want it. Colleen says, I'm helping to do Camp 2. April got my second book in the series drafted. So yeah, okay. Okay, so yeah, you're just using the camps to draft the series. That makes sense. David says, would like to do Camp Nano, but nothing planned. Maybe you could do like a flash fiction a day for camp, or like every other day. I think that would be fun. Zerk, I have no idea what the genre is, so I guess I'll just type the synopsis. That works too. Let's see. Inukog says, I'm writing the first draft of a fantasy novel. I'm going to do Camp Nano for the first time. I've only ever done the normal NaNoWriMo. I mean, I really do love camp. I really do love NaNoWriMo normally, but I really do love camp. So I think you're going to have such a blast. I think it'll be so fun. And also, I think it's the perfect time for a first draft. So, okay, Colleen's giving me advice on like series. She says, it's not easy. I love drafting, so I always want to do that. Editing is stupid. But I try and split it by what I'm doing by days. So far, it's worked. Ooh, that is an interesting process. Okay, I can dig that. Also, I'm also a fan of drafting. As y'all know from Project Purple, there's a part of revising that I love. Like when I did Project Purple revisions when I worked on draft 2 for NaNoWriMo in November this past year. But like this part of revisions, I'm just not a fan of. So I do feel you on that one. Editing is like not my cup of tea. Let's see. Davies, ooh, I like that idea for camp. Zerk says, Anthony Thomas is hired by a mafia as a bodyguard to protect the boss's son after his surgery. Their position is leaked and they go on the run as opposing mafia is trying to kill them and feelings. Lol. It's LGBTQ plus too. That's awesome. I mean, that feels kind of thriller-y, right? Like, I feel like that's what I would categorize that as. Also, I would totally pick that up. If Project Purple doesn't give it away, I'm such a sucker for like a royal kidnapping sort of story. Like, I'm all about that. And a mafia feels similar to that and arguably more fun though. So I would be so in. Adam says, never done camp, but hoping to use it to finish my failed NaNoWriMo for November. I really like carrying stuff over from the NaNoWriMos in the camp. So I think that's a great plan. Okay, also, let's go ahead and get started. I'm thinking, let's do like a 10-minute and we'll like work our way up between 10, 15, 20, and then like back down again, since I can't do any more than 20 minutes apparently. So let's see. I had to find my clock. Okay, we're going to test this again because it worked so well for me last time. But if I position this, I'm going to see if I can see myself this time. Okay, 10 minutes, y'all. So this is going to be sprint number 1. And, ooh, start. Okay. Go, go, go. Ooh, time. Wow, I feel like that went by pretty quickly. How did you guys do? I managed to get through. I managed to read through and mark 2 scenes in total. And I got 1, 2, 12 red spots, which basically means I need to go back and check with the rest of the story on 12 other things and double check with my timeline to make sure that everything is a-okay and that I can move forward and I'm not like messing things up. Let's see. Oh, hi, Christina. Welcome. Not too late at all. James says, thank God I made it. My alarm didn't go off and I thought I missed this. Nope. You made it. Plenty of time. We only made it through the first sprint, so you're good. Let's see. Zerk says, I've got half of a character profile done. Woohoo! Which character is this for? Is it Anthony Thomas or someone in the mafia? I'm so curious now. Angry Watermelon got 390. Dang. Way to go. Davies says, I spent most of that trying to change Word to display paragraph measurements in inches. I have not used Word in a while, but I've definitely gotten hung up on stuff like that before. Like, why won't it change? Why is this so hard? Okay, so Zerk was filling out the character profile for Anthony Thomas, my main character. Yes! Oh, I'm so excited for this book. Amanda says, maybe 100 words, but we have guests over, so it's hard to concentrate. Need to join them for dinner, but we'll try to come back. Oh, well, thank you for joining it all. Have fun with your guests. Colleen says, I think around 100, I had to move things around and figure out how I want this chapter. Yes. That's the thing about writing that I always think is so interesting, or editing or anything, is like how much mental work is going on that is never actually shown on the page. Like, you just can't account for sitting here thinking, which place should this sentence go, or what kind of foreshadowing needs to go here in order for the twist at the end to make sense, and like just sitting here thinking. I'm constantly amazed by it. And see, also let me know what y'all are drinking. I ran to Starbucks before sitting down to do this because I knew, I was like, I'm gonna need something to drink. So I had a free reward, so I got a giant A little refresher lemonade thing. Whew. Colleen says, amen. Yes, so much mental work. That's also why I'm such a huge fan of getting up and going for walks. I swear, or just changing scenery in general. I swear I'll be sitting at my desk thinking for like a solid hour and not coming up with anything. And then I'll go on a walk and it'll come to me within the first like 5 minutes I'm out the door. And I'm like, of course, that's obviously what the answer was going to be. That's the solution. So I'm always down for a change in scenery. Let me know what y'all's tricks are for that. Do you also change scenery, or do you have like, do you read? Like, what's your thing that when you're kind of stuck and you just need a prompt to get going again to give you the answer? Oh no, Scrivener crashed on Adam. Man, that sucks. I have lucked out with Scrivener this time around now that I have an Apple computer. But when I had Windows, Scrivener was not really my friend, to be honest. So I rave about it now, but it really is just because I have an Apple computer. Let's see. Okay, so James is drinking decaf coffee. I'm about to go out and buy a venti drink. Yes. What kind of venti drink? Another decaf coffee or something different? And you know what? I never drink decaf coffee. I honestly, I probably should. I genuinely like the taste of coffee at this point, but I probably don't need all the caffeine. I'm drinking in between like my coffees and my teas. So let's see. Davies is alternating between coffee and water. Christina not drinking anything, but I love Starbucks Refreshers. They're so good, right? Like it's just pleasant. Let's see. Angry Watermelon. I'm drinking perfect peach herbal tea. Ooh. Yeah, I agree with Davies. Peach tea sounds incredible. I love peach tea. That and like raspberry tea. Those are my jams. Okay, so Davies goes for walks when I need to kickstart my brain. Yes, okay, yeah, not alone. James says I usually just mark the scene to be written later and move on. Because if I don't, I will spend forever thinking about it. And usually I can't get ideas for that scene by writing there. So, okay, yeah, I do the same thing. I don't know what you would call this. I write chronologically, but with the understanding that I can skip scenes. So I'm not like writing a scene at the end and then writing a scene in act 2 and then writing a scene in act 1 again or anything like that. Like I'm going through strategically my strategy. I'm going through chronologically, but I can skip these scenes and use my little placeholders and stuff. And I do think there's something about having written other scenes that seems to go back and be like, oh, the answer was obvious all along, how you needed to bridge them. I'm with you. Christina is drinking hot black tea. It's raining and quite cold here, so I need the warmth. Oh my gosh. I wish we could trade weather, to be honest. It's going to get up to like 90 degrees Fahrenheit here today. Codcake goes, I also go for walks. The movement really helps my creativity. Yes. Team walks, man. We're all about it. Let's see. Angry Watermelon. When I get stuck, I've had the most luck changing how I'm writing. Okay, moving from laptop to writing on my phone to handwriting. It's like seeing it on the page differently helps me get unstuck. That's a very cool, interesting hack. I like that. I feel like I so often just default to computer. And now I did try writing by hand for the first draft, and I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I could see, especially if I were actually stuck, how that would help. And I am a fan of like writing note. Okay, I might try that next time. Okay, James says, I'm going to get a triple mocha. I don't know why I bought decaf. What was I thinking? Triple mocha sounds delicious, though. Colleen, I have to journal it out. It helps get the thoughts figured out, but I did go for a walk this morning, and I think it did help. Journal it out. So, like, oh, that's interesting. So you're just kind of, like, writing what you think about the story or, like, your feelings about the story? Or is it like a writing by hand kind of thing? But I do, well, that's the other thing. I do think writing by hand really does help me get my own personal thoughts out. Like I journal by hand. I don't journal on my computer. Something about that, hand, paper, pen connection. Okay, Christina also skips the scene and comes back to it. If I don't get it, nothing will get done. Yep. Cat Cake says drinking water. Also water. Let's see. talking about how great a triple mocha is. Yes. Let's see. Adam says, I pants my story and I don't know if I should continue to pants the story or plot it from now on. I mean, I know the end, but not the full journey. Any suggestions? Oh, that's a good question for everyone. I'd be curious to hear what y'all say because I heard that phrase headlights writer and it really changed how I thought about my own writing process. But especially for pantsing stories, I feel like I do partially pants them, but I kind of have like a couple chapters ahead figured out. Plotting, maybe it would be good to like write some stuff down that you do know. Sometimes it's good to just get out of your head the stuff you know, and then you can bridge it that way. But I don't know. I wish I had better advice. Hopefully you guys in the comments can help. Christina says, I write chronologically too. It just makes it so much easier for Flower to add foreshadowing. Yeah, I do think it's easier as well. I guess that's partially why I do it. But given how much time I have to spend revising stuff, I don't know what difference it would make in the grand scheme of things if I did write out of order. Christina says, maybe write small plot points just so you have an idea of what goes where. Yeah, I would agree with that. And then Angry Watermelon advises, maybe find a few landmark scenes in between where you are in the end. That way you have more of a roadmap, but still have the spontaneity. Yeah, see, I feel like this is all good advice. Jane says, I love outlining. I used to pants my fanfics and short stories, but outlining helps me organize my thoughts. And when I get stuck, it can help to have that with me. I think that's so interesting. So you pantsed fan fiction and short stories, but now you're outlining for the... Can y'all tell me how would you define outlining? What do your outlines look like? Because I always wonder if maybe I'm just like, it's not outlining the right way. There's no right or wrong way to write a story. But like, when I think of outlining, I just always go off outline, that it ends up feeling pointless because I am still discovering so much of the story. But yeah, but maybe outlining is kind of like what I'm thinking in my head when I have a couple scenes ahead always. I see Colleen Smith says, I write any thoughts I have about the story, where it's going when I need to remember, even just writing my frustration out helps. Yeah, okay. Or if I feel I need to change something, I kind of outline and see if I can change X, what that will do with Y. Ooh, that is good. I think that would be a really great exercise for me to do in the future for when I'm stuck with something. Because like I remember Project Death, I had a couple of times where I clearly worked myself into a corner. Like if a story is a tree, this is going to be a bad analogy. I'm going to apologize in advance. But if a story is a tree, sometimes I would find myself writing, and if I wanted to reach the top of the tree, I would actually like find myself going off on a branch that like leads to nowhere or not the top of the tree that I want kind of thing. And then I'd have to backtrack myself out. I wonder if I did the thought of, if I do X, what happens to Y? It might help me figure that out sooner than writing all the way into the corner. So, that might help me. Let's see, James says, my outline makes me look like a damn control freak. Every single scene and every single chapter is written out in extreme detail. Nothing is left unexplained. Also, so many color tabs. How? Do you have, like, what did the specific colors mean? Do you have, like, certain things where you're like, this is a color for character A, or is it more like, here's the points of tension I need to add in or something? I'm curious. But also, holy crap. I always think that's so cool, though. I just don't think I could do it. Christina says, I'm a chaotic plotter. My outlines are so in-depth down to the scene and what's in it. If I don't know who and what happens in the scene, I can't write it. Christina and James, how do y'all do this? This is incredible. This is what I love so much about the writing community, is like how different we all are and we're all still writing stories. Like, it's just so cool. David says, my outline isn't much more than bullet points. I write a more detailed outline after to first draft. It helps development. So that's what I tend to do, is that I re-outline once I have a better grasp of the story. So once I've done the zero draft, and sometimes even after the first draft, that's when I'll create an outline with everything. And it is a quite comprehensive outline, kind of bullet pointing every single thing that happens to the characters and what needs to whatever. But I don't do that ahead of time because I don't know. Okay, so Colleen also says, I pants my stories well, but I have found that I need to do a small outline. Just have to remind myself of what I need to do. Otherwise, I can go way off story. Adam says, thanks, guys. By the way, I'm a Hemingway writer, but I don't think it's smart to heavily drink at 3:30 p.m., but love buzz at the not mega drunk, but beyond tipsy. You know, I feel like Brooke and I, when we do our tipsy writing and drinking vlogs, I feel like the answer truly is to like, for me, I appreciate what one or two drinks can do. And also just because I like having wine at night and I might still write at night, I'm kind of used to that level of like a little bit of tipsy. But every time Brooke and I have done that, I've decided that writing drunk is not at all helpful. Like, it's fun and it's funny to go back and see what you came up with, but it's like not worth it. Oh my gosh, there's a giant spider right outside my door. I wish I could send y'all pictures over this thing. I'd tilt my camera, but ooh, okay. Let's see. Oh my gosh, James says my outlines usually are over 150 pages, if that says anything. All handwritten. Oh, okay. Oh my goodness. That's 150 pages. I'm trying to conceptualize that, and it's crazy. Inu Codkick says, I don't write chronologically for the first draft. I write scenes as they come to me and stitch them together. As I learn more about the characters in the world, then I rewrite it, the whole book. I recommended my friend do that because they were having a hard time. They had scenes all figured out. They knew certain scenes, but they didn't know which needed to go where, and they didn't know how to bridge them. And I was like, if you just write them, write the scenes you know, and then you can move them around. And that's what I do love Scrivener for on Apple, is that you can do that. And I think that's a really interesting way to write too. Adam says, I plot like a movie, usually like I know the beginning, the middle, turning point, and the end, but I feel my best work were all pants. That's so interesting. You know what? I actually think that's a good point, Adam. I might write like that too. Except I tend to know a lot about the first like 3 or 4 chapters, less so in the middle. I do always know the turning point, and I know more about the end than the middle. The middle, why is the middle so hard? Let's see. Davies agrees with Inucog Kick. That way I try and avoid writing boring scenes. That's a good way to think about it. And if it's not entertaining you as the writer. Christine says, I have a storyboard so I can see the flow of everything. I'm a very visual person, so it helps me organize my thoughts, and it's easy to switch scenes around if need be. Yeah, the storyboard idea is really cool. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm very excited. James says, pink tabs, romance, sex, orange, files, green, notes, thoughts, purple, new part, blue, new chapter, yellow, new. Oh my goodness. Having the tabs make it easier to find certain things, and just running my hand where it is amazing. I'm obsessed with tabs. There's about 1,400 of it. I do love tabs though, but I never use them. I just like them when I see other people's tabs, or like when they've like annotated a book and there's all the tabs sticking out. Oh my gosh. Okay. Lazy Dogs Ranch, you are not late at all. You're perfectly on time. I think we're going to start another word sprint. So I'm going to set the timer. We're going to do 15 minutes this time, work up to that. And okay. We're going to see if I can do this again. Start. It worked. Oh my gosh. Yay. Okay. 15 minutes, y'all. time. Dang. All right. How did y'all do? I managed to get, I got to switch back. I got through 4 scenes that time. And okay, so I'm at the point in the timeline where I need to add those 2 scenes at the end. And so I'm just trying to figure out where exactly they should go. So obviously I'm going to have to change some of the other scenes on the other side in order for it to like all make sense. But I think I have the point. Yeah, I think I might have figured this out. I'm very excited. Okay. Hopefully this is me saying I think I figured it out without actually having done it yet. So, you know, that's always good. Let's see. Lazy Dogs Ranch. I do narrative outlines like telling a story over a campfire. Hit the high spots, then go back and flesh things out. Filling in transitions as necessary. What a great analogy. I like that. That's really cool. That's a nice, wow, words are hard. That's a neat way to think about it. Also, just an FYI, I live in the boonies and I am lagging like hell, so I may barge in with comments that seem wildly of the totally fine. Don't worry about it. I've had that problem too. I feel you. Let's see. Do we have a general area for where the boonies is? A state or a country? James got 229 words. Got a brief makeout scene down in the start of chapter 2. Yes! That's exciting. Zark, I managed to successfully make and eat a sandwich. Oops. That's okay. I feel you. Food is important. That's what I'm going to do after this. Colleen got 400. Yes. And Davies edited about 1,000. Oh my gosh. You guys, way to go. Inukak caught 368. That's awesome. James, I think I'm about to start another project. Get back to my fanfic roots for a bit. That's so interesting. That'll be cool. What kind of fanfic did you write? Actually, for everyone, what kind of fanfic did y'all write? Because I wrote Harry Potter fanfiction mostly, but I see Inukak Kick, and that's why it made me think. I did like, it's probably the only kind of role-playing sort of story that I did, but I did that with some friends, and it was Inuyasha based, so that's so funny. It really is bringing me back. Let's see. Angry Watermelon got 573 that time, and fingers crossed for figuring things out. Yes, fingers crossed. Also, congratulations, 573. Oh my gosh. Davey says, nice work, sir. Yes. Christina, I got like 24 words, only because I'm trying to rework chapter 1, scene 1, so I didn't write too much. Yes. Again, reworking stuff can take so much time, and it just feels like the output's not there, even though the output would never be there if you didn't take all this time to rework it. So I feel you. Christina, I revised about 500 words. Dang, way to go. Adam says, I briefly plotted 2 stories, but it was hard due to my timeline as my story jumps from 15 years earlier and current day. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay, so I have my timeline pulled up in Aeon Timeline, and I have 2 days left on this trial period just because I thought I bought it already, but I haven't. I am going to buy it. I'm going to buy it today because I don't want my trial to go. I want all my work to be here. But I really like it and totally recommend it. It's helping me a lot. I think I'm about to do it. I know I'm about to do it for my, I'm looking at my stories right here. I'm going to do it for my co-written story because we were having a little bit of difficulty with the timeline. So I totally recommend doing that if you have timeline issues or just want to see a visual representation of your timeline that's easier than you trying to like draw it out. Although if you're better at drawing than I am, maybe that's good. But timeline errors in general, I really appreciate like time travel stories. Conceptually, I think they'd be so interesting, but even as like a viewer or a reader, I constantly do not understand the timeline and what happens, that I know that those aren't the stories for me, even though I want to like them. So me and timelines, man. Let's see, James okay, Shadowhunters fanfic, X-Men. Literally all smut, don't look at me. There is no judgment here. I'm so curious who you pair up now, though. Christina, I wrote a lot of Shadowhunters TMI fanfics. I love my fanfic roots, but I really like working on my original stuff. Yeah, that's what I think. I mean, so many of us, you start with fanfic and then you're eventually like, either you feel confident enough to start your own stories or something changes a little bit where you're like, oh, I really want to do original characters. But I think that's great. Adam says, I wrote half of a Firefly fanfic. Oh, Firefly. The less said about it, the better. Honestly, that's how I feel about most of my personal fan fiction. But I had some fanfic favorites back in the day. And I was like, these people, I would buy these books. James says, so the project I'm working on right now isn't, but I'm also trying to build a whole universe with the X-Men, so this is a little more difficult than expected. Oh, that's fascinating. X-Men is like how I like to think my college superhero story is, where it's like, I don't know why X-Men feels more realistic than like Superman. I have no explanation for that because it's not really, but it feels a little bit more grounded. And maybe I just love X-Men. Zerk says, my fanfic, everything is gay. Yes. Let's see. Christina Ocher, everything is MMA. There isn't any other way to write fanfiction. Y'all are cracking me up. I love this so much. I want to know who you're pairing, though. Which characters? I need to know. Edu Cockcake says, I've written Inuyasha fanfiction. Code Geass fanfiction. What is that? I gotta look that up. I don't know what that is. Yes. Sorry, y'all. I'm so like, oh, okay. I feel like, I don't know why the name didn't sound familiar, but I feel like I've seen it before. Okay. Okay. Very cool. Let's see. I was reading somewhere. And when I was really young, I did Mew Mew Power fanfiction before I knew what fanfiction was. So lots of anime fanfiction. Yes. You know what? I do think it's interesting fan fiction that's based off of like anime or manga where it's a different form than like an actual kind of a novelization of it versus like things like Shadowhunters or Harry Potter, which is often the books and then that translates a little bit differently. I'm curious. Well, maybe it's not that different. It's probably not that different. I'm just kind of thinking about it and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Let's see. James says, I recently deleted my old Wattpad to start a new. Oh, I love to have it there, but since I wrote all of those during a pretty crappy time in my life, I felt some closure closing that chapter of my life. Well, congratulations. I do understand that. Just being able to just like shut it off. It's no longer there. You've grown past it. Yeah, I can see that for sure. Let's see. Magnus and Alec, Mano TV. Okay. Oh, man. Here's the thing. So I'm gonna attempt some Shadowhunter stuff again, but like I've watched the TV show, even though the book's like the second book wasn't like made me kind of stop. But Magnus and Alec, yes. Let's see, Inuka Kick. I didn't start with fanfic though. I've always mainly written original stories, but then when I started watching anime, it made me want to write fanfiction too. See, that's fascinating to me. I think that's very cool. James, oh yes, a Jace Wayland and a Simon Lewis. Oh, Jason Simon. Also, Jason Alec, love them. No one could tell me otherwise. Jaimin, oh my gosh. Jason Simon, yes. Oh, man, y'all are making me. I'm gonna have to go and like try this again. Dang it. I'm gonna have to try this again. Maybe I'll just read the fan fiction instead. Maybe I'd like that better. Let's see. Adam Stevenson. I also wrote 2 episodes of new Batman TV series that was like Kung Fu, where Batman was really old and thinking about his past, and then the episode focused on his memory. Then my PC broke. Yeah, I agree with Davies. What a shame. This is why I always preach, and actually what I'll do as soon as we're done with this now, oh my gosh, I always preach to back up your stuff because I have lost, I think, probably half a book before, and there's nothing so disheartening, even though I often rewrite stuff. It's just like I have a mental block there from like the pain of losing half a book. And I just, back up your stuff, you guys. Let's see. Christina says, I did start my fanfic writing life with a show called Castle. I used to love that. I used to love Castle too. But I'm just such a fan of like anything kind of detective-y and also writers, obviously. And Nathan Fillion. Let's see. You know, Cupcake, I also love drawing, so I used to do a lot of fan art too. I think fan art is so cool. If I had any amount of like hand coordination or drawing skill, if I had anything there, I would love to do fan art. I think fan art is the coolest thing. I'll go on Pinterest and Instagram and like follow fan account. I just think they're so cool. Let's see. James says, honestly, I reread the series. I couldn't even get through the first book, but I still love the series. Well, nostalgia probably. Got all of this when I was 15-ish, so it's hard to get rid of. Okay. You know what, though? That does make me feel a little bit better. And I know it's totally like a different strokes for different folks kind of thing. And I did enjoy the first book enough, but it was that second book. I got 100 pages and I just noped out of it. But my friend Jessica Williamson sent me a link from Emma Books, which was like the correct order to read the Shadowhunters in or something. And I think I'm going to try the other trilogy or whatever first, because that might be more up my alley. So yeah. Let's see. Adam Stevenson, thanks, but the CW is better than anything I could have come up with. And Davies, detective writing, Nathan Fillion, the Holy Trinity. Yes. But also, Adam, see, you know what? I tell myself that I feel like we alternate. I was having a discussion with some people, some other writers, and they were saying how they either focus on their own stories too much, so they're not reading as much because they feel like they need to dedicate all the time to writing their own stories. But of course, reading it makes you a better writer. And then this other camp where it's like, they read way more than they write, and they always convince themselves that they don't need to write their own story because they already read all these wonderful, amazing books. Like they could never match up to that. And it's such an interesting, like, I feel like it usually has, I want to know if there are other writers who have like the perfect balance of writing and reading. And I don't know what the answer to that is. But now that I'm attempting to have like more weekend stuff. So like after this is done, I'm probably just going to go and read for the weekend. So I'm hoping that'll give me more balance. Let's see. Zerk says, I've only just read the third book and I'm starting the other trilogy. Okay. Wow. So that's okay. You'll have to let me know how you like the other trilogy then, since you'll be starting ahead of me. James says, we need to yeet that incest plot though. Yeet that off a cliff. Nope, nope, no. Maybe that was my problem when I was reading. I was so much like, I could not tell. I didn't know how things were going to, I don't know. Let's see, Davies, when are they going to reboot Murder, She Wrote? I would be so stoked for that. Is that actually in the works? I would love that. All right, let's see. Christina has hungry kids, so I'm going to come back another time. Bye, Christina. Thanks for jumping in. Christina says, yeah, first book can be hard to get through, but they definitely got better as I continued. That's the other thing. The Infernal Devices series is so incredible. Okay, see, so that's the one I think I'm going to do. And also I have heard that they do get better as time goes along. So, which makes sense. I feel like writers always improve, whether you're a debut or like you're Nora Roberts type and you've always been writing a whole bunch of stuff. Like you're constantly improving. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, James, there's a perfect balance. You're right. There's no perfect balance. Okay. Let's see. I'm thinking 20 minutes this time. Does 20 minutes sound like too much? That's the question. Because I'm down for it if y'all are down for it, but if not, we can do 15 again. Let's see. Zerk says, I know I've got to go. Love the stream so far. Thank you so much for coming, Zerk. It was so much fun to have you. So, all right. James says, yes, let me run to my room for the music. Let's see. All right. Sounds like we're going to do 20 then to me. All right. Davey says, let's try. Okay. Colleen says 20. All right. Yay. Angry Modern. Everyone's saying 20. Okay, good. It comes in so much later. So, okay. Let me see if I can do this by myself again. Start. I got it this time. Man, I'm doing so much better. Okay, 20 minutes, y'all. Whoa, time. Man. All right. Well, I managed to get a little bit done. I got like a scene and a half done, and then I ended up turning a lot of my Scrivener files into like little blue flags for the parts that I have to work on because I have 3 scenes 2 scenes for sure, 3 scenes I think that I want to include that I need to write for the first time, that I need to somehow fit into this last part of the story, and I'm not entirely sure how well I'll be able to do that. So anyways, that's my struggle right now. So, again, a lot of mental work happened, but not a lot of on the paper work happened. Let's see. I do see Inukakik says, I don't read as much as I'd like to. I end up spending my free time writing and then I run out of time for reading. Yes, that's the same for me. Plus, I'm a slow reader, so it takes a long time to get through books. My other problem is that I really like to binge read, much like I like to binge watch things. And so it's like if I don't have a whole chunk of day, I haven't been very good at like reading an hour at night or something to unwind, which I actually think would be really good to introduce to my routine. I just haven't done it yet. Christina says, I tend to read a book in 1 to 2 days, and then I'm just on a reading streak for a couple weeks. I need to be all reading or all writing. Definitely no balance. Yeah, I feel that deeply. Adam says, I would love to, jumped. Adam says, I'd love to reboot the Saint, but my ideal Simon Templar is now Batman, Robert Pattinson. I'm actually really excited for Robert Pattinson as Batman. I'm so curious how it's going to go, but I think he's a good actor, so I'm excited. James said, shameless plug, listen to Alone Together by Anna Conifer's sex scene inspiration if you need it. We were on some other live stream the other day and people were asking for sex scene inspiration kind of music, so now I know what to recommend. Lazy Dogs Ranch says, I'm in Florida. Okay, the northeastern part of the state. Northeast. Okay, less prone to hurricanes, but still with the giant fauna. Roaches, slugs, snakes, gators. My fear of gators is irrational since I'm in Texas, but also it's still very true. Oh, I see James left. Bye, James. Much later. Let's see. Christina decided to beta edit a friend's chapter this go around. Oh, that's such a good use of time too, though. Much like how reading helps your writing, I'm such a huge fan of thinking how beta reading really helps you improve. Adam got another 2 chapters plotted. Yes, congrats. Angry Watermelon got 695 words. Woohoo! Freaking yes. Davies nearly ready to submit my story after that last round. Thanks for the 20 minutes. Submit your story. Yay! That's so exciting. Colleen Smith, 509 words and feeling much better about this chapter. Good job, Kate. I'm so excited for you. Thank you. Oh, so close. But yay for feeling better about the chapter too. That's always nice. Let's see. Davey says, I always enjoy books more when I read in larger blocks rather than dip in. Same. And I do love nonfiction, and nonfiction I can dip into. But fiction, I'm like, I feel like I need the whole experience. And for me, the experience is like all in at once, usually. Angry Watermelon says, most of my reading is listening to audiobooks at work, but even then I either read a lot or not at all, depending on my mood. I listen to audiobooks a lot when I'm on road trips, so it's still the same kind of thing. I know when I was working corporate and I was driving basically over an hour combined each day, I did listen to audiobooks then, and I felt like that gave me a good amount of chunk each day. And because I wasn't going to be doing anything else during that time other than driving, I was like, oh, this is fine. Angry Watermelon, most of my reading. Oh, I already read that. My bad. Depending on the mood. Yeah. Let's see. Davey says, but I'm trying to read Dune and it requires some focus. Oh man, Dune is one that I've had on my list of like classics that I want to read eventually at some point. So I'm excited to hear what you think of it when you finish. I do see Colleen says, I tried to read Dune years ago, did not make it far. I need to try again. Yes, that's so funny. And Davey says that my dad is reading it too, so he's keeping me honest. Yeah, oh my gosh, a buddy read with your dad. That sounds phenomenal. That sounds great. Maybe I can convince my parents to do a buddy read with me on it too. That's so funny. Christina says, oh my gosh, yes. Baiting helps me learn so much about my own writing. I've been doing it for about 3 years and I can see the difference. I know what I like and I don't like. Yes, same, exactly. And I've also learned, I I've learned to spot when it's a story issue versus a my taste issue. And that's something that when I first started out beta reading, I couldn't completely tell. And so I think it's also helped me just when I'm reading books in general to look at them a little bit more critically and figure out if it's not working just because I don't like X or Y, or if it's not working because it was generally poorly plotted or the characters were doing things out of character or whatever. Like it differentiates it in my mind, and I hope that translates into my writing, like making sure that I keep out those things and just keep what I like. So, all right, it's 10:31. I think we do one last mad dash of a 5-minute writing sprint, and then we will be done. So, okay, try this one last time. 5 minutes, y'all. Oh my gosh, I got it again. Wow, I'm on a roll. Okay, 5 minutes, you guys. Yay! Oh my gosh. See, those 5 minutes went by so fast, I feel like. I think I got through a scene, basically, marking it in red still. So it's not like I've gone back and fixed stuff, but, I got my process going. So happy for that. Let's see how y'all did. Okay. I'm going to go back a little bit. Christina says, my parents don't read. I've bought books for both of them, but they've never picked them up. Aw. Do they like TV shows or movies, though? Because I just love talking to people about stories, and I find that oftentimes that's an easier connection point for some people. Adam says, I read Moby Dick recently and was like, I do not need to know this much about whaling. Easily could have cut 10 to 12 chapters from that. Wondering if Dune is the same. That's what I've heard about Moby Dick. My eyes immediately got wide when I I read what you typed. I was like, oh no. Let's see. David says, everything and everyone has at least two names. It's testing my memory. Well done on managing Moby Dick. Oh no, two names. Oh, Dune. Why would you do this? Adam says, once you get into it, it's not that bad. But if you skip unneeded chapters, it would be so much easier. Yeah. Christina agrees. Yeah, that was no time at all. It went by so fast. I forget because, I always need that ramp up period for the sprints because just jumping into 20 minutes, it's like my concentration hasn't built up. But, then when we go back down, I'm like, what? That was not enough time. Colleen got 159. Good job. Adam got half a chapter at best plotted. That's still great. Davies did some formatting. Angry Watermelon 267 and a whole lot of typos. Yes, Christina. Oh yes, my parents love TV show. We're currently binging Breaking Bad. Super good. Ooh, okay. Can I confess something? I tried Breaking Bad once, and I think I only watched the first episode. I don't think I made it to episode 2. I might have, but I'm not sure. And it was like I didn't want to continue on, even though I've heard it's like some of the best TV ever made. And so I keep thinking I'll give it another try. Someone told me I needed to get through 3 episodes, and once I got through the first 3, I'd be hooked. So, I have a break because Lucifer, we just found out that season 5 is going to happen, but I've already binged that. I've got some time, so maybe I'll watch Breaking Bad. I'll try it again. Oh man. All right. Well, I think that's going to be it, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I feel like I got a lot done, and it looks like y'all got a lot done too. So I'm so happy. And again, you can either comment on the Patreon page or in the comments down below. I will check. And just tell me what times work for you, since I did a morning one this month. Next month, I'll try and do an evening one or evening my time. And yeah, we'll just kind of play around with things. But thank you guys so much for joining me, and I will see y'all very soon. Bye.